Have you ever wondered how Sean Combs, one of the most powerful figures in music, built his empire? Long before he became known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and eventually a billionaire business mogul, he was just a young boy who lost his father and watched his mother give up everything to raise him. Somehow, he climbed all the way to the top. But what did it cost him to achieve fame, survive the struggles, and keep reinventing himself? Join us as we explore the story of Sean Combs. Sean John Combs entered the world on November 4th, 1969 in Harlem, New York City. His childhood was shaped not only by the culture around him, but also by early tragedy. He grew up in Mount Vernon, New York, under the care of his mother, Janice Combs, a hardworking woman who balanced modeling with a job as a teacher's assistant. His father, Melvin Earl Combs, had served in the U.S. Air Force and moved in powerful and dangerous circles, including ties to the infamous New York drug lord Frank Lucas. When Sean was just 2 years old, his life changed forever. His father was shot dead while sitting in his car on Central Park West. Melvin was only 33. Losing a parent so young left a void that would shape Sean's drive and ambition for years to come. He grew up alongside his sister Keisha in a home where money was tight and every success had to be fought for. Raised Catholic, Sean learned discipline and responsibility early, even serving as an altar boy at church. He attended Mount St. Michael Academy, an all-boys Catholic school, and stood out both in class and on the football field. In 1986, his team won a division title, a moment that taught him the taste of victory. As a kid, his fiery spirit earned him the nickname Puff. He would huff and puff whenever anger bubbled up inside him. This mix of determination and emotion would later fuel his rise in the music world. After graduating in 1987, Sean attended Howard University, majoring in business. But the traditional path didn't hold him for long. By his second year, he left college behind, chasing bigger dreams that couldn't be confined to a classroom. In 1990, Sean Combs took his first big step into the music industry when he landed an internship at Uptown Records in New York. It wasn't a glamorous start, but Combs had something that couldn't be taught: drive, energy, and a sharp ear for talent. Under the guidance of Uptown's founder, Andre Harrell, he quickly climbed the ranks, becoming a talent director. In that role, he played a key part in shaping the careers of two future R&B stars, Jodeci and Mary J. Blige, helping polish their image and sound in ways that would launch them into stardom. Even before Uptown, Combs had a knack for creating parties. Back in his college days, he was famous for throwing massive parties, some so big they drew crowds of up to 1,000 people. His ability to bring people together was unmatched. Singer Usher, who lived with Combs for a year when he was just 13, later described those days as pretty wild, hinting at the fast, unpredictable lifestyle he lived. But not all of Combs' early ventures were celebratory. In 1991, he organized an AIDS fundraiser with rapper Heavy D at the City College of New York after a charity basketball game. The event was tragically oversold, and a stampede broke out, killing 9 people. In 1993, everything changed again. After being fired from Uptown, Combs didn't retreat. He built his empire. He launched Bad Boy Records and struck a joint venture deal with Arista Records. One of his first moves was to bring along Uptown signee Christopher Wallace, better known to the world as the Notorious B.I.G. Along with Craig Mack, B.I.G. helped put Bad Boy on the map, with Wallace's debut album Ready to Die becoming the label's first major success in 1994. He added Carl Thomas, Faith Evans, 112, Total, and Father MC to the roster. Behind the scenes, his in-house production crew, the Hitmen, crafted hits for some of the biggest names in music, from TLC and Mariah Carey to Boyz II Men, Aretha Franklin, Lil' Kim, SWV, and more. In the mid-90s, Bad Boy Records was growing fast. Mace and the L.O.X. joined the label just as tensions between the East Coast and West Coast hip-hop scenes were heating up. The rivalry wasn't just in the streets, but in music and interviews, with Death Row Records' Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight openly mocking and criticizing Combs and the Notorious B.I.G. During this same time, Combs was still proving his skills behind the scenes. But 1996 marked a turning point. Sean Combs stepped out from the shadows of the producer's booth and into the spotlight as Puff Daddy. His first single, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, dominated the Billboard Hot 100 for weeks, showing the world that he could be just as powerful on the mic as he was in the studio. Then came the release of his debut album, No Way Out. Originally titled Hell Up in Harlem, the project shifted in tone after tragedy struck. The death of his close friend and Bad Boy's biggest star, the Notorious B.I.G., in March 1997. The grief and shock shaped the music, giving it a mix of triumph and pain, packed with collaborations. From Bad Boy's top artists, No Way Out exploded onto the charts at number 1, selling 561,000 copies in its first week. Its centerpiece was I'll Be Missing You, a heartfelt tribute to B.I.G. that made history as the first rap song to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, where it stayed for an incredible 11 weeks. The album didn't just win over fans. It also earned Puff Daddy 5 Grammy nominations, taking home the award for Best Rap Album. It eventually went septuple platinum, cementing his place at the top of the music industry. Still, critics accused him of leaning too heavily on samples and making hip-hop too polished and commercial. By the late 90s, Puff Daddy was everywhere, on the charts, in the headlines, and in the middle of controversies. In April 1999, he made news for reasons that had nothing to do with music. After being angered by an unedited scene in Nas's Hate Me Now video showing both of them on crosses, Combs confronted Nas's manager, Steve Stout, at his office. The heated exchange ended with a mistreatment charge. Just months later, Combs released his second album, Forever. It shot to #2 on the Billboard 200 and topped the R&B hip-hop albums chart before being bumped by Mary J. Blige. The album, which spawned 3 charting singles, also hit #4 in Canada, his best showing there. In 2001, Combs reinvented himself, changing his stage name to P. Diddy. That year, he ventured into acting, appearing in Made and alongside Halle Berry, and Heath Ledger in Monsters Ball. He also managed Kelly's, toured with NSYNC, signed the pop group Dream, and produced the Training Day soundtrack. He ended Bad Boy's deal with Arista Records, gaining full control, and released The Saga. Continues, his only album as P. Diddy, which went platinum. From 2002 to 2009, he ruled MTV with Making the Band, launched artists like Danity Kane, ran the NYC Marathon raising $2 million, performed at the 2004 Super Bowl, and led the high-profile Vote or Die campaign. By 2009, Sean Combs embraced yet another new name, Diddy, explaining that fans seemed confused about what to call him. Around this time, he juggled acting, music, and business. He starred in Carlito's Way, Rise to Power, took on Broadway in A Raisin, Sun, and later appeared in its TV version. He sold half of Bad Boy Records to Warner Music Group, hosted the MTV Video Music Awards, and even landed on Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people. His career wasn't without drama. He clashed with rapper Mase over contracts, sparking a feud with 50 Cent. Still, Combs kept expanding his brand, launching the VH1 reality show I Want to Work for Diddy and guest starring on CSI Miami. By the end of the decade, Diddy had cemented himself not just as a music mogul, but as a multi-talented entertainer who knew how to stay in the spotlight. Sean Combs' life has been a mix of huge success and serious challenges. In 1999, he and then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were caught up in a nightclub shooting in New York. Though he was cleared of charges, the scandal put him under intense media fire and made him more careful about his image. His personal life was just as public. He became a father in 1993 to Justin Dior with stylist Misa Hilton. But his deepest relationship was with model Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of his children, including twins Delilah Starr and Jesse James. He also raised Kim's son Quincy as his own. Her death in 2018 broke him, pushing him to focus more on family. He also had a long romance with singer Cassie Ventura. In total, he has 7 children, but his biggest storm came in 2023 and 2024, when shocking allegations of sexual abuse, violence, and power misuse emerged. Multiple lawsuits claimed misconduct spanning decades, shaking the very core of his empire. Once at the peak of fame, Combs now faces accusations so serious they threaten to erase his legacy and leave his future hanging in the balance. What is the real danger to his fame? What trouble is he caught up in right now, and what's the reason behind it? Even with all his fame, fortune, and decades of hit songs, Sean Combs, better known to the world as Diddy, has seen his shining career dragged into one of the darkest storms imaginable. For years, whispers and accusations followed him. Recent times, they've grown louder, heavier, and far more serious. From 1990 to 2023, Diddy has faced repeated claims of sexual misconduct. The allegations range from inappropriate intimate acts and harassment to even more disturbing charges, like substance-facilitated mistreatment, child intimate abuse, and trafficking. At least 10 civil lawsuits have been filed against him over the years, and federal criminal charges arrived in 2024, charges to which he pleaded not guilty. The turning point came in late 2023. Between November and December, 4 women stepped forward with explosive accusations. Among them was Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend, who claimed she endured a decade of mistreatment at his hands, alleging inappropriate acts, trafficking, and repeated physical mistreatment. Within months, more people joined in, filing lawsuits describing incidents going back to the 1990s. Many of these accusations spoke of being given substances, threatened, or offered hush money to keep silent. By October 2024, The Washington Post revealed that lawyers were preparing as many as 120 more lawsuits, with 25 of the alleged victims being minors, both male and female. Some said they had reported the abuse to police, doctors, or even the FBI years ago, but nothing happened at the time. Things escalated quickly. On September 16, 2024, Diddy was arrested in New York on serious charges: racketeering, sex trafficking by force, and transporting people for prostitution. He was locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. His legal team fought hard for bail 3 separate times, but each request was denied. The trial was set for May 5, 2025, and despite attempts to delay it, the judge refused. Courtroom battle was intense. Jury selection began in early May, followed by opening statements and gripping witness testimony a week later. The prosecution painted a picture of manipulation, coercion, and exploitation. The defense pushed back, saying the stories were false, exaggerated, or driven by money. After nearly 2 months, both sides rested their case in late June. Closing arguments came just before the 4th of July, and then the jury deliberated for 3 long days. On July 2, 2025, the verdict came in. Diddy was found guilty on 2 counts of transporting people, including Cassie Ventura, another ex-girlfriend, and male sex workers for prostitution. But he was acquitted of the more sweeping racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Even so, the convictions were enough to keep him behind bars. Bail was denied yet again, and sentencing was set for October 3rd. Now, with his future hanging in the balance, his legal team is making a bold move, reaching out directly to President Donald Trump in hopes of securing a presidential pardon. Whether that will succeed or not remains uncertain. What is certain, though, is that the man once seen as untouchable in the music industry is now facing the possibility of spending years, maybe even decades, behind bars. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.